Hello, everybody, and welcome back. I'm Ginny Massie, Balanced Body Pilates educator. I'm so thrilled to have you here for part 4 in our series of how to increase confidence in your teaching skills. So in part 1, we discussed what causes our lack of confidence as Pilates instructors. I've been there. I know many other Pilates instructors have. If you are there currently, just know you are not alone. In part 1, we really talked about how to figure out where your personal confidence issues may be stemming from. And it's a really important piece of the big puzzle to know and understand that about yourself. Part 2, we discussed the best first way to plan your classes, so that way you can have a base or a recipe for easier planning. So that way you're not spending so much time planning, or just to knock one thing off of your list when planning your classes, so that way you don't have to remember it all the time. In part 3, we discussed the #1 cueing skill to master for increasing your confidence in front of your clients. So that way you feel really good and solid in your base knowledge of what to provide for your clients. So if you have missed either part 1, 2, or 3, I encourage you to go back and watch those as part of this whole series. Now today, part 4 in our series is about how to enhance your cueing technique. So once you get really good at your class planning and programming and really good at your cueing technique in the basic knowledge of how to provide everything that we talked about in the previous video, then the last piece of the puzzle for increasing your confidence in your teaching skills is to learn how to layer in and enhance your cueing with extra information for your clients while they are in movement. All of this is part of my best cueing sequence that I recommend all Pilates instructors follow. And so the last piece of the best cueing sequence is to layer in 1 to 2 additional cues. But how do you do that? What is an appropriate additional cue? Well, that's what we're here for today. So once you know the basics of teaching the exercises with the name, the equipment setup, the start position, and your movement sequence, this is where you get to layer in your 1 to 2 additional cues. Now, there are so many different additional cues that you could layer in, but let me give you a few examples of what that could be. The most common additional cue is something that you see in the moment that needs an adjustment from that client. So are they hiking a shoulder? Can you talk about shoulder placement? Have they stopped breathing? Can you remind them to breathe? Is there something going funky with how they're holding a position in their body? Can you enhance their movement by giving them a little extra cue so that way they can feel it deeper, they can understand the movement a little stronger, and they can get a little more information inside their body? That is the most common additional cue that you can layer in while they are in movement. Now, a couple other examples of additional cues that you could layer in would be something that relates to their goal in doing Pilates. Why did they come to Pilates in the first place? What do you know about them? What makes it important for them to get stronger by doing Pilates? They're there for a reason. Is there something within that movement that relates to their goal that you can share with them, because they're going to give it an even more concerned effort to get better at that movement if they know it relates to their goal? And then the last idea for an enhanced cue, a layered in cue, is just to give them the purpose of the exercise or relate it to something in daily movement patterns. Help them understand why they are doing the exercise, not just how. You got really good at teaching them the how. That's the start position. That's the movement sequence. That's the how of the exercise. What can you teach them about the why of the exercise. Now, this is really tricky. When we layer in additional cues, it's really important not to have motor mouth as instructors. So we can tend to talk too much, right? But remember, we already gave them all of this information on just how to get moving. It was a lot of words to go through: the name of the exercise, the equipment setup, and then the start position, and then the movement sequence. That's a lot of information that they're processing already. So we have to be very mindful to not give the clients too much information where it's now overload. So this is where I recommend that you only choose one or maybe two additional pieces of information, cues to layer in, so that your clients get more information in their body and it helps enrich their experience. It also makes them feel more comfortable with you as a teacher. They feel like you really know what you're doing. They want to return to your classes because you give this extra that maybe they don't get from other teachers. So how do you enhance their movement with these skills? I'm going to give you an example. So we're going to go back to the same two exercise examples that I gave you in last week's video in part 3. So we're going to come back to the reformer and we're going to do supine arm work and feet in straps. But I'm not going to take you through everything I did for the name of the exercise, going through equipment setup, through the start position and movement sequence. All of that is in video 3. So if you want that information, go back to video 3 and check that out. Today's video is going to be all about layering in that additional information. Now, I just want to share with you, these are just examples. So take these and use them if they make sense for you and if they make sense for your clients. If they don't, know that this is just an example to give you an idea of how you can start to enhance your communication skills by layering in this additional information. All right, so I'm going to come back over to the reformer and I'm going to lie down, getting ready for supine arms, just as we did in video 3. I'm on my red and blue spring, hands in straps. I've already talked the clients through the equipment setup. Here's the start position, and then I've gotten them moving. So now that the clients are moving, how do I layer in, or what do I layer in for this additional information? Here is something that I could say, or you could say right here. As you're moving, can you feel how you have to pull from under the armpits to engage into your torso, more so than your hands? Notice if you push through your hands, how it might feel like work in the upper shoulders, but see if you can pull from under the armpits to get a little bit more into your trunk or your torso so you don't end up with a tired and crabby neck. Okay, what do you think about that? That was 2 pieces of information. That was what they can feel, how they can focus on the purpose of the exercise, and then relating it back to, we don't want them to get a crabby neck. And if they just push with their hands, they might feel it more in their neck. We just kind of blended those together. So that's an example with supine arms, how you can enhance the cue by giving them a little bit more information, how to perform the exercise we've already done, why they are doing it, is to get stronger under their arms so they're not so used to over recruiting from the top of their arms. We said it in a very gentle way. You can be more direct. That's just one option of how to enhance cueing in supine arms. Now let's go into feet in straps. So we've already talked the clients through how to get into feet in straps. We've already done a few of our first exercises. Let's pick up where we left off in video 3. We were doing leg lowers in video 3 before we finished. So we'll just say, as clients are continuing here, you've already given them the number of repetitions so they know how to disperse their energy, okay? Then you say, as you continue, I'd like you to feel like you're pushing the legs down from the gluteal fold, from the hamstrings, not from your feet. Can you notice that as you pull down, if you activate from the glutes and those hamstrings first, how you feel so much stronger? Let's say then you move them into like a side split series, so legs open and close. You could say, as you're moving through this position, pull your legs back together from your deep inner thighs, closest to your pelvic floor, way up in your groin. Use those muscles to pull the legs together, not your feet. Don't point your feet. We already did footwork. We don't need to do footwork here. We're doing hip work here. Make the hips be the driver. And then that is a little bit of extra information that you can layer in for your clients. I hope that those have been great examples for you to see how you can layer in information. You want to say it in a very short, succinct way that gives them like a sentence or two to think about. Why are they doing this movement? Why is it important to feel things in a certain way? It's not just that they're going through the motions. Pilates itself, yes, will make lots of improvements, but you can help your clients get even more improvement by adding in that finesse, those little nuggets of information that help them feel like they're getting just a little bit more out of it. So when you get really good at layering in even just one extra bit of information, you're going to feel so much more confident as a Pilates instructor with your cueing and communication skills. So this is a little bit beyond cueing. This is communication. This is how do we interact with these humans, these human brains and these human bodies that we're teaching, right? So I hope that has been really, really helpful for you in increasing your teaching skills and feeling that much more confident in where do you need support? Where do you need to work? Where do you need to increase your skills to feel a little bit more confident? And remember, we're all on a growth journey here together in this Pilates teaching world. No Pilates instructor, no Pilates teacher has it all the way down pat. And I'm going to throw myself in that category. It may look like it from the outside, but that's because some Pilates instructors are really good at masking any issues that they're having. And so if you don't feel 100% confident 100% of the time, that's a-okay. And I'm here to let you know that we're all here to grow together. So I'm here to help support you in your teaching journey as well. Now, if you would like even more support in your teaching skills, I encourage you and invite you to check out my online course, Class Design Superstar. It's a 12-week course, and I go through all of these teaching skills and even more. I take you through 6 different modules, 6 different weeks of learning how to plan classes in a short, succinct way where you feel that you can start whipping out a class plan from your brain way faster than if you had gone through the old dinosaur way of the way that you used to do it, spending hours and hours and hours. Please don't do that anymore. Please take me up on my offer to join Class Design Superstar. Get better at planning your classes. Get more confident in your cueing and communication skills. Learn how to connect with clients. There's so much more information I share within the course on increasing your confidence building skills in how to communicate with clients, how to understand and be prepared for what can happen in the moment in teaching Pilates, because as you know, so many things can go awry, especially when we're teaching more than one person. We have to watch out for so many different individuals all at the same time. And then I also share in Class Design Superstar one whole module on how to modify, on how to create transitions, and how to look at changing course in the middle of a class when something isn't quite going right. And so it's not just about modifications and advancements, it's really about understanding the exercises themselves and how to make changes and adjustments that it doesn't feel like you need to know 15 more exercises. All you need to learn is how to adjust the one that's already presented in front of you. So if this sounds great to you, please check out Class Design Superstar. The link is in the comments, and I really hope that I can support you in your journey further. But if this video series has been enough to get you started, then it's my blessing to have been able to share this with all of you. So thank you so much for joining me in this 4-part series in how to increase confidence in your teaching skills. And if anything in this series has resonated with you or has helped you in increasing your confidence, please leave me a note in the comments. I would love to hear from you. Thank you all so much for joining me, and I will see you again soon. Mwah! Bye for now.